Macho John Madden sitting in my... Oh, the sun came out as I pushed the button. That's amazing. I'm sitting on my favorite quiet place between Carter Street over there with the rescue mission back there, the brick building with the white windows. It's rugged. There's no action here on the weekends. Nobody parked here. And that's the federal building over there, and that's South French Broad. And you hear bells. I hear bells. What time is it? Excuse me, what time is it? It's 10 o'clock. That's the bells of the St. Lawrence Basilica, which is in that direction. Yeah, it's going to ring 8 bells. I love that sound. Well, Christmas has been a time of incredible joy and healing for me, with a couple of big bumps along the way. And oh yeah, I have horns on my head, and sometimes say, well, it's an indication that I'm horny, which I am, and other times I'll complain, how can I get anybody to take me seriously? I really want you to take me seriously, which I don't. And other times I say, oh, I hate it when my antlers are crooked, which I don't. So it's been a gorgeous time. Christmas, I've been happy over the moon. I had my office space at Thrive Co-working in the beautiful Grove Arcade. So happy. I found it hard to do work. I just wanted to hang out and get to know my co-workers, because it's so wonderful to have an office again. And then a week ago, Saturday at 4:30 in the morning, I got caught smoking in the shower room at the Salvation Army shelter. And the big tall woman security guard said, I have to go find out what to do with you. And she came back and said, you're out. You got 20 minutes to get your shit out. And I had always assumed that the worst that would happen from that would be a write-up. I had one already, and you get 3. I had one for food in the dormitory area where you're not supposed to have it. But she said she consulted. I assumed she talked to Cal, the second in charge, and I didn't fight it, and I left and took 12 reusable green Ingalls bag and a rolling suitcase down to my office space, and arrived there around 6 o'clock in the morning. Along the way, the Lyft driver, when it was 5 in the morning and the wind was howling and it was like 25 degrees, when I said, could you please come over here, he couldn't get quite to me because of cones in the parking lot, and help me with these bags. He said, that's it, I'm out of here, go find somebody else. And I almost begged him to take me, which he relented and did, and I did sass him back once more when I was having trouble getting into the big tall truck with no running board, and he said, put your left leg in first. And I looked at him and said, I know my body, Jack. And I got away with it. So I told Lyft all about that in great detail. And they gave me a $10 credit and some other goodies, and said they would talk to him. So Monday morning at 8 a.m. I got a call from Cal at the shelter and said, please come back. We've been searching for you frantically. She was never supposed to do that. She's in big trouble. Wow. That was wonderful. I spent an hour high. I had spent the night. I had just enough money to stay at my favorite hotel on Tunnel Road, and had the first really good sleep I've had in a couple months, 4 weeks, 2 months. I think 2 months I've been there. You just can't sleep in a dorm with 20 people snoring and coughing and crying out in their sleep. It's rough to sleep. So I slept wonderful. So I got really happy. Okay, I'm back at the shelter. And an hour later, I got a text from the head of the Thrive Co-working saying, you're out. I'm throwing you out. You slept overnight at the place, which is a red line, which I had not done. And the Very sweet Mark, a security guard who helped me stow my stuff in a closet, and had told Jordan that in his security estimation I was lying when I said I had not slept there. So Jordan wrote and said, you spent the night here, you're out. I went and protested and said, Jordan, no, I can document that I got here at 6 a.m. He says, well, okay. But you're ruining our reputation. They throw homeless people out of this Grove Arcade, maybe the most prestigious building in Nashville, and you're making us look bad. We're going to have a reputation for bringing homeless people into the space. And there's some people around here who say, you look like you're not doing any work. Well, he's heard me talk about my work. I've sent him stuff about my program I'm developing for mentoring. And he knows that my work largely is to wander around and have happy conversations with people, healing conversations. And I've had a bunch of them with clients and the husband of a client and the client of a client. I said all that to him. He says, well, I'll talk to my boss. That was Monday afternoon. By Tuesday morning, I went, you asshole. I was at my lowest point and you jumped on the bagwagon and kicked me while I was down because of your concern about face, how you look, not for my mission in the world. You could have tried to help save my mission at a time that I was pretty vulnerable, and you didn't. So no, I want nothing to do with you. You blew it. I felt really good about that. Wednesday, I went back to Haywood Street, Open Table. They have their big meal on Wednesday. In spite of the fact that I'm over homeless people, oh my God, they're so difficult to deal with. I had several spectacular things happen there. I had a really bad experience with being blackballed from the Haywood Respite Center because they thought I was bad for women, which is bogus. The thing that hurt the most about that process was when I said to Robert, social worker, straight shooter, I can't believe that Jenny, my old friend from Sun Tzu Taekwondo, where she used to be the admin person, and who likes me a lot, she said she loves me. I couldn't believe that she signed on as blackballing me with no possibility of coming back. He says it was unanimous. That hurt a lot. I couldn't make any sense of it. Well, I encountered Jenny at the Open Table luncheon because she helps with that. And she was super sweet to me. And I said, Megan, who was a volunteer there and now is staff there and also stays at the Salvation Army. I do have a little raspy throat. I'm at the final stages of a cold. Megan ratted on you. She said, Jenny speaks so highly of you. She really liked you. So when I encountered Jenny, and she was obviously soft and sweet in my direction, I said, Megan ratted you out. What? She said, you like me. And she said, of course I like you. I love you. I said, you don't know how much that helps me. We had a great hug. Very early in my time here, I had spent 3 nights with an old friend, George Fleming, who we've had. He's turned out to be awfully patronizing in the clinch, and I told him off, and he doesn't like that much. His sister, Joni, had been a really important friend with me, but when I first got back in May, I was very, very vulnerable, very, very sick, and I couldn't connect with her. I felt all strange with her. Well, she does the art table there, and we had a wonderful visit. I told her that at this point I'm looking at Mojo Co-working, which is a fabulous space. It's a very different part of town. Had been a really great bar across from the Masonic Temple where I used to dance. And I think it's going to be just right for me. She says, I know the woman who owns that space, so that was cool. We had a great hug. I ran into Jessie from United Counseling, All Souls Counseling, who does counseling there, and I've had several sessions with her, and we had a spectacular session. Lovely session where I got to talk about all this. Really great. We don't hug. And we were in a... She likes to sit a long ways away. I cannot figure why she has to sit so far away from her clients, but that's her preference. Okay, I still have my little cough. I had decided not to go anymore after going to 7 sessions of something called in-person connection practice, with a very rigid format to make it safe for people to divulge important things. Because I, a professional designer and deliverer of group processes and trainer of professional group leaders, had so many gripes with their format, and I was constantly clashing with their format. I said I had resigned and left, even though I love that. I said, I love this place, I love what goes on here, and I need connection, but I can't stand this. And people obviously love me on my way out for my vulnerable way of leaving. Jen from that group had said, I think you ought to come back. You can ignore what you don't like in the format. I said, no, I can't, it's too much. But Tuesday night I had gone to an open mic in some people's house. Turner, I only knew that Aram from the in-person connection was the only person I knew there. I didn't have a great time. And I forgot my black shoulder bag there, which had my charger for my phone, cable for my phone, my hard charger, my power block, several of my IDs, and my paycheck from 2 days of doing bell ringing. Because I didn't have that stuff, nothing I had, I bought what I thought was going to replace it. Nothing could get this phone, my good iPhone, to work from Wednesday night until last night, Saturday night. So I was pretty much out of communication with people. So, yeah. So Wednesday afternoon, I went to that in-person connection practice only to try to catch Aram and get that bag, which I had texted her, please bring it into town for me. Well, she wasn't facilitating that day. And when I got to the doorway, something said, you stay and go to the meeting. No, I don't like it. Stay, sit down, shut up. Basically, that's what God said to me. And I liked being there, and Robbie was facilitating, and I like him a lot. And I turned out taking the first long turn and told all my secrets about my spiritual life, all the stuff I never tell people because I'm sure they won't understand the very special spiritual experiences I have. And I said, the sun is out again, I said very clearly, I know this does not make me special. This is what's supposed to happen for everybody. And my job is to help it happen for people. And that's really what my mentoring program is all about, is helping people wake up. I assumed they were going to go, who the fuck is this guy? And they loved me. They were like crazy about me. Robbie says, I don't know if you noticed all the smiles as you were talking, and I had not noticed. Well, that really was a big, big healing, and I got super happy. And when April told her sob story about the workmen who were invading her house and making it not safe for her, I said, number one, I've been through that. When I was at Battery Park Apartments, they were always in changing the windows, and it really made my house not feel like a home. And, by the way, your whole way of describing that was so sweet and so soft and so self-responsible and so funny. You were like totally lovable. I want to adopt you. She gushed all over the place. God, she loved that. You want to adopt me? Nobody's ever wanted to adopt me. And she got lots of compliments about how funny she is and she ought to do stand-up, which she should. And she said, I've been told that before, and I think she's going to take it serious. So that was great. And afterwards, I said, well, you're precious. And she said, you're precious. And I said, no, you're precious. And we were 2 feet away from each other with me spewing my germs on her before I didn't have any symptoms yet. And that night I got sick. And then I got a chance to tell Robbie that I've trained professional group facilitators. He's one of the best I've ever seen, and that felt good. He liked that a lot. And I got a chance to tell this other woman whose badge there has been, I'm an angry person, I'm a nasty, angry person, stay away from me. And she had really been awfully nasty to me. Well, she was warm and funny and really reached out to April and really reached out to this other guy, and I got to say to her, I hang out with people who are totally self-focused. And the way you obviously cared about 2 people here, almost broke my heart. It was so beautiful. And that was great. She obviously liked that. And then there was an older woman, maybe almost my age, young, maybe 65, who was sitting back with her legs crossed, and I thought, she's just sitting there judging us. Geez, who is she? Well, at the very end, she said, I've got a terrible, terrible migraine. I'm trying to hang in. And my attitude just shifted completely. So often we judge people based on one symptom. So she offered me a ride home, and she turned out to be so cool. She obviously is from money, but she drives a beater car, hangs with the homeless, volunteers at 12 Baskets homeless place. Is a very cool person. Rose. And then I started to get sick. And my phone wouldn't charge. I sent messages to lots of people. Sorry, I think I contaminated you. And Michael here has had the flu all week, denying it, saying, no, I'm not contagious. And then yesterday he said, yeah, I have the flu. You asshole. We stand in the smoking area 2 feet away from each other again and again and again. So I was enraged with him. And when I got up Thursday morning, he's one of the first person I encountered, and I called him a complete fuck up. Get out of my life. You're such a fuck up. And he said, no, I didn't really have the flu. You said, why'd you tell me? Oh, I was just kidding. I have pneumonia. Well, I don't know what's true. I think he did. I think he certainly told me he had the flu. So I took myself out of there being contagious with the flu, I thought, and left at 6:45 and went to Sisters of Mary Urgent Care, which I thought was 24/7. Turned out it didn't open till 8. And I had a wonderful experience there, and they diagnosed me as a bad cold. This is a terrible strain. It makes people very sick. You should be sick for about a week. And I was quite sick for a couple of days. And now mostly every day I've acted normal, and I'm almost perfect again now. Not quite, obviously. I'm looking at that mojo. And on Friday, wandering down Lexington, one of the most enchanted people I got to know right before I left is a woman named Elle, who's the booth fairy. She sets up a booth with a sign, shitty advice, 25 cents. Good advice, $1. And she had given me some stunning advice. I said, I'll take the good advice. No, I'm all out of good advice. I've only got shitty advice. And she gave me some amazing advice. And she's now got a shop on Lexington, which is the funky street. That's the shadow side of shopping in Asheville. And she's got the funkiest shop of all. And we were so happy to see each other, had big hugs with she said, take the mask off, I'm not scared of your germs. And she's tall and blonde and gorgeous and so funny, so funny. That was great. And then I saw her again the next day, and that was super great. Yesterday, yeah, that was yesterday. Yesterday I just wandered around being happy. I had $40 on my credit card. I tried to get something that I thought would charge my phone, and it looked like the phone was the problem. It looked like the phone just would not any way accept the charge, and I got crushed. This phone was $700, and when would I be able to afford to replace it? I was crushed. I took it very badly. I kept saying, why are you letting one stupid little thing change your mood? But it did. I felt terrible. And I went to the luncheon at First Presbyterian Church, and the food was bad, and I felt totally alone and poor me. I really felt poor me. Nobody cares about me. I went to the minister at the end and said, I need to talk. And she gave me a prayer. She didn't really give me any kind of counseling session. She gave me a prayer, which was nice and obviously worked, because then everything started to turn around. And in Pack Park, just some woman wandering through the park gave me a blessing, which was gorgeous and made me super happy. I ignored the fact that it was all about Jesus. It was fine. It was love. It was about God. I just got super happy, and the kids were making me happy. And so I ended up I spent $20 on phone stuff and gave away the other $20 to people who needed money, and gave away most of my cigarettes to people who needed cigarettes. I just wandered around playing Santa Claus and got happier and happier, and got back to the shelter. And Renee there is a tiny little, all curled over woman from a infection that went bad 3 years ago and just fucked her body totally. Well, we love each other a lot, and we play like I'm trying to seduce her. And her joke is, I will shoot you first. You know, we were playing, and she had borrowed money from me. I loaned her $40. That's how I got the $40. Was I got it from her. And in front of everybody in the cafeteria said, I had to give John some money for services rendered. And oh, did I play with? And how many stars would you give me, darling? You were the best ever. And I said, did you pay attention to that? Oh boy, I'm going to have fun now. Oh God, we had fun with that. And the other thing that happened, the first thing yesterday morning, I had said to Justin, who's my best friend there, and Celeste, I had said, you two guys are so smart. And by the way, I'm going to out Celeste. She reads the New Yorker, Justin. And she does. She's super, super smart. And they like that, and that was a lot of fun to give that validation. And so when I got back home last night, Renee says, I think I know what's wrong with your phone. And she took a toothbrush to the receptor where the lightning charger goes in and fixed it. So now it's totally charged, and I have phone service again. And when people say, how are you? I've consistently through this whole thing said, I'm better than I deserve to be, and I am. Who deserves this? I don't deserve this. Except the real me does, doesn't it? The real me. Not the John Madden, not the jokester, not the PhD, not the Fortune 500 consultant, no. So life is good, isn't it? And it's Christmas. I have only 4 days to do shopping for nobody. But I took 2 white elephant gifts to my Toastmasters on Monday night. And I just signed up. There's a white elephant thing at the shelter, and I'll get something for that. Merry Christmas, folks. I'm sorry I rambled so long. 24 minutes is a long time since I made such a long video. Sorry for coughing in your face. That's terrible. Bye.